Well. Now, Bola Tinubu of Nigeria is telling us extraction of the raw minerals of Africa, what keeps the continent poor. Just to remind you, Bola Tinubu, since he came to power, it's just in May 2024, it's 1 year and a quarter. Let's take it like that. And he's a person who whose motto was "Let the poor breathe." But in the past a year and a quarter, what we have seen is that this man is a dictator and he's torturing his own people with his economic torture techniques. So instead of let the poor breathe, actually he is letting the poor to die. Now, after everything what he has done to Nigeria, now he's coming and telling us that extraction of the raw material from the continent is what keeps the continent poor. Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to say what he wants to say, but as a leader of the nation, forget everything, forget Africa even for now. Just let's talk about Nigeria, in which he claims that the people have elected him. But what we all know how he came to power, what he has done during this past 6 months, ever since the Dangote refinery has came to, in reality, it all tells us that Bola Tinubu is not really for the people. He's just another errand boy in the block. Now, before I go further reflecting my own view, I'm going to share an article where this came out. Actually, now this statement was quoted from the sideline meeting of the United Nations General Assembly that's going on in New York, the 79th session. So there are several sideline meeting, as you know. So in that meeting, it was the statement was distributed by his spokesperson, which actually also makes me to question where is Bola Tinubu. The speech of Nigeria was also presented by the deputy president. I haven't seen Bola Tinubu, so but of course that's another topic for another day. Now, what does this article says? And I'm going to read it for you and share my own view or reflection on it. So the title goes, Why Africa Remains Underdeveloped and in Poverty. That is what they are going to analyze. The Pulse, it's a Nigerian online media. Now, the president noted that extracting raw minerals in Africa had continued to keep the continent in a state of poverty. Okay, now President Bola Tinubu says Africa holds a significant a significant portion of the world's mineral reserves, including 92% of global platinum, 56% of cobalt, 54% of manganese, and yet underdeveloped. Now, Tinubu, represented by his vice Kashim Shettima, stated in his keynote address during the African Mineral Strategy Group meeting held on the sidelines of ongoing 79th session of the United Nations Assembly in New York. Now, a statement on the event was made available to Newsweek by his spokesperson, Stanley Nikwocha. And in the statement, this is what it says. According to him, the extraction of raw minerals without a local processing only deepens Africa's underdevelopment and prolongs its economic challenges. Now, Tinubu therefore stressed the urgent need for the continent to break free from the dependency. In quotation, this has left the continent, meaning the extraction of raw minerals, has left the continent at the mercy of foreign markets, forcing it to repurchase finished products at much higher price. Now, how laughable is this really? I mean, let's not talk about even the other natural resources or minerals that Nigeria has. Nigeria has from precious stones to, industrial ones like marble, gypsum, and Nigeria has also gold. I don't know if it's yet extracted and started to be exported. And there is also oil slash gas. Okay, now he's telling us the extracting these raw materials is only will end up for for the people to repurchase it in a much higher price. What are you doing, you Bola Tinubu? It might be this an inherited problem, but you are also doing it in your own time. What's happening to the oil of Nigeria? Aren't you letting all the crude oil from the country, from Nigeria, to be extracted, not even by a Nigerian company, by all these foreign, who are operating under the name of international oil companies, but they are the Exxon Mobils, Chevrons, the Shell, and others, all of them, the foreign companies. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation does not even have more than 20% of stake in all this. You are letting all these companies to extract your crude oil and then go to a next country to the west to be refined and then come back for your people to buy it in a very expensive price. Not only that, Nigeria is a country, the only country perhaps in the world where, thousands and hundreds of thousands of or millions of barrels per day are stolen. You don't even sell it. It's in few private hands. They get that you lose your crude oil on a daily basis. People have their own ways that they have prepared from a country, a sovereign country. Now you come and preach us about extraction of raw minerals and being sold in an expensive price back to the people in the absence of a refining company in the country. So you are the one who is doing it. Now, let's forget that. And let's bring the Dangote case. Now, Dangote has set up a refining company, and your own government has refused to sell a crude oil for this man, the first refinery in Nigeria. Okay? You refuse to sell a crude oil to this man or to this refining company, at least in which have enabled for your people to buy a very qualified petroleum gas for them, and also that will, how do you say, lessen all the process, the sending of the crude oil, and I mean there's no paying for transport and others. You are losing billions of dollars in importing and buying foreign currency. It will save the economy. I mean, it's a significant boost for Nigeria, but you gave Dangote refinery a hard time. So now I mean, anyone can talk about this actually coming, any African heads of state. As one time they say, somebody here said, African leaders are always talking on both sides of their mouths. I mean, I completely agree with you. When it suits them, they talk about, they have this pan-African rhetoric, and then on the other hand, you see them all causing up with their West, with their masters, colonial masters, and selling us. So yeah, he might be entitled for his bullshit, but certainly it will not be Bola Tinubu this time to talk about to come and talk about, like extraction of raw minerals from the continent is what keeps the continent poor. No, not you, Bola Tinubu. Now let's continue in the article. A situation in which raw minerals are extracted from our countries, exported refined, and sold to us finished products merely consolidates the foundation of our misery and pushes us further down the depths of underdevelopment. Yes, it's true. But are you doing it? Now, the president uh, called on African nations to adopt a new agenda that prioritized local value addition, which was essential to industrializing the continent and providing sustainable economic growth. Well, you focus on Nigeria, be an exemplar leader where you prioritize for refining refineries like the Dangote ones, that you can sell them the crude oil that actually is found in their own country, and then allow your people to buy the finished product in a cheaper price, and in which also it will save the country from spending foreign currencies that you buy by inflating your own, by devaluing your own currency. And also it will save you from taking loan from this so-called international financial institutions. Uh, Another one is, just to give you a background, Nigeria is, according to the report that was available in July of this year, 2024, is in the top 10 countries, African countries, with highest debts to the IMF. Okay. Number one is Egypt, Angola, Kenya, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, DRC, that's Democratic Republic of Congo, Morocco, Nigeria, and Senegal. 5 out of the 10 are actually in West Africa. And at this point, I don't know how it is done, but yeah, Egypt is in top with 10.2 billions of dollars. Now, Bola Tinubu, since he took power, he actually borrowed 4.1 billion. So this is only in 15 months of his period since he took power. Now let's find another thing taken from and in terms of minerals, Nigeria has oil or gas, gold, also salt, gypsum, limestone, but all these are, most of them are yet to be exploited. It's not, I mean, the gas we know, but the others, I don't think even they start to extract it. So Nigeria is really rich. It's just have to get it, how to use it, and how to make it beneficial to its own people, rather than benefiting those so-called international oil companies like Mobil, Shell, Chevron, and others. All of them companies owned by the West. So that is, my reflection on this article, on what where Bola Tinubu shared his statement on the sideline meetings that are happening. It's called actually the African Minerals Strategy Group meeting. It's happening on the sideline of this United Nations General Assembly in New York. So yeah, let us know in the comment section what do you think of this. It just came and I read it. I said I really have to share my reflection. I was just minding my own business, listening to the speech of these heads of states from Africa and others, that directly or indirectly relates to what's happening in Africa. But then reading this, I said, okay, I really have to share this. So I will give a quick shout out, Afri, greetings, and Darlington, Noza, Bola, what did you say? Bola Tifnubu. Oh my God. Okay, so you just coined a word for the man. Agro Valley Farm, Africa needs to move from being an extraction site for its minerals, which is what the West and China wants, and do value addition of its natural resources. Another quick thing that I want to share is, always it's really, I don't like just to share with you the challenge that we have, but, as an African diaspora, wherever, because sometimes it just doesn't occur to us. If really the situation allows you, and if you have that capacity, if you can come together and whatever, always think of, to have to establish a business from where you come from. Yeah, I mean, I say where you come from, it's easier perhaps in terms of, that you maybe speak the language and, the people. So think of, why not, for example, a group of Nigerians who live in the diaspora have a mining company that operates in Nigeria. Why not? Or in Ghana. So it's just an idea, and you can brainstorm with it, whatever network you have there. But it's possible, because most things that we cannot do it until we try it. We really don't know whether we can do it or not. Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that so far. Give it a like and share the video. If you want to support us, you can also donate to our PayPal account. That will really help us to be here more often. Thank you, Alula Kok. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's my son shouting out for me. So I have to shout out back to him. Well, I will see you on the next one. Just tune in. Bye bye.